All right, let's talk about what's going on this week. There's plenty of things happening, as always.
There are. These are kind of interesting ones we want to share with you today. They're not what we would normally say are big ticket selling events, but they're still very important events and very interesting. We'll start off with the Great River Genealogical Society. They have their annual dinner meeting, and it's scheduled Thursday the 14th at the Quincy Senior and Family Center. The doors open at 6. Meals will be served at 6:30. It includes a dinner for $15. And there is a wonderful lecture by Professor Koskinen of Quincy University, and he'll speak on the War of 1812 beginning at 1730. And for many of us that know here, it was really the War of 1812 that established Quincy because there were the land grants out there, and John Wood took over that grant from his commanding officer. So I think there's a lot of interesting historical aspects about that, and you also learn how to find out about your own family history being involved with this group.
That's right.
That's true.
People be surprised by how they didn't even realize they were involved in it. Maybe.
Well, you can come up with so many things that people just discover when you start looking around those family trees, and I think it's a very interesting journey, and it's a really good pastime for someone to do, and it's great to share with your kids and pass this down, because that stuff gets lost. Outside of two generations, most of them are like, I don't even know my great grandparents' names.
Yeah, where they came from, things like that. Yeah. And the contact there is Phyllis Smith, good friend of mine. She can be reached at 964-2348. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a great event.
And that is coming up on tomorrow.
Yeah, there's another one coming up very fast. The American Association of University Women is having their garden party. Now, they still had a couple of slots open, so normally they would have been closed up by now, but this is going to be great. You're going to get an opportunity to have a wonderful meal in some of these private gardens that you get to see, and more importantly, the $25 ticket that you have goes to students for their scholarships at John Wooden Quincy University. And so this is, I think, one of those organizations that more women should be aware of, and men, because they don't limit it to only women with its name, but should be aware of and should join. It's really helps to spread education and information and helping out people in need. And you can contact Judy Hellman at 224-3391 if you still want to make a reservation.
Okay.
And get in on that.
And that is on the 16th. That's this Saturday.
That's coming up.
Also on the 16th.
Well, now this is interesting because at first, and I think you guys, we're roughly in that same generation of where, just younger than us, video games are a part of their life.
That's true.
I've played them twice in my life. I have no idea. I have no desire, but I know there's this whole world out there.
We come out of Pac-Man, and that's about it.
That's about it. Maybe Atari, Pong or something.
Yeah, exactly. But
they have this thing, Minecraft. Are you guys familiar with this one at all?
No,
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah, like me, I'm thinking it's another one of those mindless games, blah, blah, blah. The kids spend hours doing it. Well, apparently, this is a big national movement, and there are all these incredible educational aspects to. I shouldn't say this out loud, otherwise the kids will stop playing it. But
you're going under the premise that they're listening to you right now.
Right. Well, then this is for mom and dad and grandma and grandpa. This is something you should get your kids involved in. It's really kind of just you build worlds together. And you kind of build forts, and it's sort of like an adult Lego game where you create these grids and place blocks together and rough 3D objects, mostly cubes. But there's I was just doing some research on this, and it is becoming used in education in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
There have been some disfranchised kids, who don't, maybe they're not involved in sports or they're not involved in theater, and they just don't feel they have a way to go. So they grab them in through that technology way, and some of these reports are saying these are kids that look like they were maybe going to fail, doing real poorly. All of a sudden they get in this group, they start talking, they get involved. They've seen math grades improve from this. There was a group that was using it for autistic students to, really let their minds work, because God, imagine that trap.
Stimulates them.
Yeah.
That's what it does.
Yeah. And so the Quincy Public Library has all these wonderful programs. So the 16th at 1 p.m., they'll be doing their Minecraft. Now, I'm sure a lot of the kids out there are already aware, but there's a chance some of them aren't aware, and I think this would be a good one to talk to them about.
It's 1 o'clock on Saturday.
1 o'clock on Saturday. They everything's always free at the library, which is great. They do quite often say, give us a call, let us know you're planning on attending, so they can prep for that, having that many people. And so if you want more information, www.quincylibrary.org is the place to go and find more information on that.
Okay, good information. Lenny, thank you so much. Appreciate it. And you can always find out more at artsquincy.org.
Absolutely.
Okay.